Hi everyone. We are here live. This is my first time doing live, so I am trying this out for the first time. Hi everyone. Thank you for joining. Hi. Okay, so I need to figure out how to add people to join my live, but hi everyone. Thank you. I feel so special. You joined my first live. So, since this is my first live, I'm pretty nervous, but I asked my two good friends to join. So, thank you, Alani. And then I'm also going to have Portia join. Where is she? Portia. Sorry, it's my first time doing live, so we're just going with this. Okay. Hi, thanks for joining. I feel so honored.
Honored. Hey,
Hi.
hi.
Hello, welcome. Welcome everyone. This is my first Instagram live. And thankfully I have two good friends who agreed to join with me to kind of help me get over my nerves. So thank you, Portia and Alani, for joining. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're so excited to be here. You look amazing. Amazing.
Thank you. What happened to Alani? One second. There we go. We're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining. I really appreciate this. This is totally out of my comfort zone, but you got to get out of your comfort zone to grow. So here we are. And thank you to my friends and sisters, Alani and Portia, for doing this with me. I figured to just use this to introduce myself. So hi everyone. My name is Yemisi. I am the founder and CEO and CFO and everything else for Ayocathy. It's a head wrap and headband company. The cool thing about my product is that it is lined with satin, so it protects your hair while you're still looking good. So this is one of my prints. It's actually sold out, but it's called Shelly. So yeah. So I posted earlier this week to have people ask questions of me. So I've shared those questions with Alani and Portia, and they're going to ask me live. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments, and we'll make sure we'll have time to go over them. So maybe I'll give Alani and Portia a chance to introduce themselves as well.
Hi, I'm Portia, and I'm just excited to be here. I am excited for this. I want to jump in with the questions, but I'm just a supporter. Your product is amazing, and I
Thank
can't wait to
you.
hear more about it in this live.
Thank you, Alani.
Hey y'all, it's a lot. Um, I'm happy to be here. I think the beauty of all this is like being able to support your friends who support you. All three of us have businesses, which this is not what this is about, but I think that's the beauty of it. So hopefully we can go off script a little here.
Yes.
So, Portia, you could actually get us started.
Okay. So I'm gonna start it off with how did this even the brand come about? I mean, there's so many layers to it. So I mean, but just tell us a little small story about how this whole idea came about. Just a small, short little story about it.
Okay, that's a really good question. I will say I didn't start out wanting to start a company. I really just started out wanting to make a product that I will use. So I've always loved head wraps, like since I've been a kid. I grew up in Nigeria, so culturally, head wraps are cultural things that you typically wear, especially to like parties or just celebrations. So I think that's just always been a part of me. But I think for me, I realized I still have to protect my hair underneath. So I was looking for something that has a satin lining, so that I could still have a head wrap but still have my hair protected underneath. But there really wasn't anything on the market. And the reason is because I should back up a little bit. The reason is because most head wraps are of different materials and textures, cotton, just different fabrics, and you're not really sure whether or not they could protect your hair, or they could be damaging or too abrasive for your hair. So I was looking for something that would still protect my hair underneath. So that was kind of what started my journey of wanting to even create something for myself. But long story short, you told me to keep it short, Portia, so I will. I my sorry. It's my first time doing live, so I apologize if there's technical difficulties, but I was on the phone with one of my really good friends in Baton Rouge, and somehow we were talking about head wraps, and she was saying similar things like, I wish I had a satin-lined scarf, because typically if I were to wear a wrap, I would wear a scarf underneath, but that was not always the best ideal solution, because sometimes the scarf would interfere with the style of the wrap, or sometimes the scarf and the wrap starts, because the scarf is slippery, it makes the wrap kind of slide off. And then people see the scarf underneath, and that was just not a good look either. So long story short, I realized like, well, maybe this is a bigger problem than me, you know? So let me look into starting something out. And that's how we're here today. It took me some time. I learned how to sew, and yeah, I've just been doing this. So thank you for asking. That was a really good question.
That is amazing. I think something that you said that was super interesting is that we would have to put on double scarves, and nobody wants to do that. So you solved that problem. Like, we can get our hair protected and we can look cute at the same time.
Yes,
I'm
sis.
I'm for that. I'm for that. I'm gonna kick it off to you, Lon.
Yeah. So I was just gonna say that, you know, successful businesses find a problem that they are currently having and make a successful business. So you identified a problem, and then you were able to create a solution. And I know, well, obviously I'm a Black woman, and you just cannot just go to sleep, even with different textured hair. So satin lining is always, I love to wear a bonnet. So this is a good alternative to still be out and to still protect yourself. But I want to go back a little bit. So
Okay.
let's start with the name, right?
Okay.
So I am from the Bay Area. When I read it, it's like, "Ayo,
Oh,
Kathy."
Jackie.
So one of the questions said, "How do you pronounce your name?" I want.
Great question. It's so funny. I feel like everyone I talk to, they say Ayocathy, and I'm like, that's not the name. Well, that's not how you pronounce it. But it's pronounced Ayocathy. So A as an apple, like the A sounds like an apple, A in apple, and then the O sounds like orange, the O in orange. So Ayocathy. So, but to give you background of how I came about with the name, my mom is one of my biggest, well, yeah, she's one of my biggest inspirations, like ever in life. And her first name is Catherine, but one of her Nigerian names, if you know Nigerian people, especially Yoruba people, we have a lot of names. I don't know why, but it's just tradition. So typically, when a baby is born, I won't go too much into detail, but when a baby is born, there's like a naming ceremony, and people get to name the baby like different names. So one of my mom's Yoruba names is Ayodele, which translates to joy has come home. So I basically just combined the two together. Ayo by itself means joy, and Kathy from Catherine, and I got Ayocathy, and I love it.
I love it too, because
Me too. Me
love,
too. I'm for it.
I think
Thank you.
it's great.
But if people call it Ayo, that's fine too. Ayo, Kathy.
Ayo, that's how now I know how to say it.
Thank
So
you.
for sure, for sure. Let's talk about, do you have any samples there with you? Do you have any any of the fabrics near you? That's okay.
I can go get you
I
some.
wasn't
I have some.
prepared.
I have some.
I have one too downstairs, but
I actually have some. It's not right next to me, but if y'all give me like 2 seconds to grab it, I'll go grab it real quickly.
someone asked how did you choose it? So I would love for you to just like for the one that P has right now, like how did you choose this? Because everything is hand cut, everything is done by hand. So how are you choosing this fabric?
Yeah, look at Portia. Thank you, Portia. Well, so I guess going back to how the company started, I started because I wanted to create something for myself. So with picking the fabrics, it was just things that I would love. I have some family that were in Nigeria, so I got on the phone with them, and we were like going back and forth on like they were sending me photos of it, and so I basically just kind of picked things that I would like. And then I also have a local vendor here that I go to, and I go ahead and check out the fabric. I feel it. I like to just make sure it's something that I would want to wear. So that's kind of how I pick it. If you know me personally, you know I love colors, I love prints, I love just to be able to express myself through what I'm wearing. So I hope that, well, so far I've gotten great feedback from others that they love the colors and the prints. I think since I have launched, I have been noticing customer feedback, like which item runs out first and quickly. That kind of helps me to figure out what to kind of order and have it more in stock of. But pretty much I pick on based on what I would wear, because if I won't wear it, then I wouldn't want to sell it to you.
So I have a follow-up question to that. So
Yeah.
when you get them, you get like rings with the product. What is that? Like, so that's super cool. That's like an added bonus. Like there's like gold rings that come with it. So what is that about?
Great question. I love that question. So I like to call the people, so I make my products for queens, right? We're all queens, and I love that as queens, we could have little trinkets and little like things that make us, that we like. So the rings is just like the cute little accessories. If you notice in most of the pictures on my website, we all have like little finger rings and knuckle rings. So I figured if I like wearing those rings, my models like the rings, why not the queens? So it was just, yeah, it was like a little gift because, you know, I like to do little cute things like that. So hopefully people like them. So far I've gotten great feedback about them, so I'm glad that
Yeah.
people like them.
Yeah, I was excited. Like when I opened it, I was excited. But then when I seen the rings, I like literally screamed. I was like, "There's rings!"
The cherry on top.
Right.
Yes.
So let's talk about business.
Okay.
So to lead into my question, I know you personally, so I know that you are educated, okay?
Okay.
Educated. So but running a business is different. You can have all the book knowledge from here to Stanford, and that doesn't mean that you will run a successful business. And so to launch your product, to sell out on your first launch, I'm curious, what has been your favorite thing about running a business? And then what has been the thing you learned? What is the big learn?
Okay. Great question. And I will correct you. Stanford. I went to Cal Berkeley. I don't know.
No, I know where you went, Glee. I am a bear. I am.
So I don't talk about Stanford. I talk about Cal. Go Bears. But no, I really like the point you made, Alani, because book knowledge is different from real life knowledge. So that's that, and people have to keep that in mind. I do have an MBA from LSU, which I'm really thankful for, but I honestly feel like a lot of the things to launch my business, I kind of had to learn it on the fly and call my fellow entrepreneurs. One of my friends is on here now, and I feel like I called her so many times to have her walk me through how to do my website, how to figure out shipping, and just all these little things that you don't really learn in school. Like in school, in business school, you learn it's very theoretical, but launching in person, like by yourself, it's a lot of applied learning. So I definitely, definitely, definitely appreciate just all the friends, startup heroes. I see startup heroes on here. It's a community that I've been able to benefit from like greatly. We have monthly meetings. We talk about just different things from marketing, finance, all the little aspects of running a business. And I really appreciate just the community that I have and people who have been super helpful, giving me the best tips. Portia, I remember one time we went for a walk and I was like, I don't know how to do social media. And she gave me like the best tips for it. And that's honestly what I've been gleaning from, is just gleaning from different people, my friends, my community who have the experience, and kind of taking a bit from here, a bit from there, and kind of putting it together. I will say in terms of like launching and selling out within my first weekend of launch, I did not expect that at all. I am so humbled and so grateful for all the support that I've gotten. One thing that I would say I've learned, to your question, Alani, I've learned that I should just kind of go with the flow, not be too hard on myself, give myself grace. It's okay to make mistakes, but learn from them and keep going. So I would say that's probably been the biggest thing. And another thing too, to anyone who wants to start a business or any venture, I'll say just knowing that the consistency that you have to, like, I have to show up for myself. Like, I can't expect anyone else to support me if I'm not even like showing up for myself. So I think that's been I think that's been the biggest thing, is like show up for myself and just keep going. It's going to take grit, but keep going. It's going to be worth it in the end.
So, Portia, get ready with your next question. But what have you learned about work-life balance? Because you, like myself, we work in tech. You work in HR. It's like that's occupying a lot of your time. So what have you learned about work-life balance, and what would you share with someone who is thinking of starting a business?
Great question. I feel like for me, setting boundaries has been super helpful for me. For instance, with social media, I set the time I'm planning to be on it and time I'm not planning to be on it, just to know that I have a certain number of hours in the day where I could be on social media. So I'm not, because if not, I could waste a lot of time on social media, just scrolling endlessly. So I would say for me, it's been setting boundaries, and then also making sure that I know the type of person I am. I know I'm more alert in the morning. So like things that are more priority, I take care of them in the morning. Things that require focus, things that I'm not very familiar with and I need to learn doing, I usually take care of them first thing in the morning, because I am wide awake and I'm alert, and I could, like get those things out of the way first. I would say that's kind of like how I've been managing work-life balance. I still make sure, for me, I like spiritual things is super important for me, like things to just kind of get me connected with the Lord. So I make sure I have time for that. I make time for that. And then I also really like to exercise. Like I love waking up and starting my day with a run or a walk. So I always try to do that also in the morning, just so it kind of sets the tone for my day. But yeah, I would say that's probably been the biggest thing for me.
That's really,
Okay,
really
Portia,
good.
I'm ready.
So this is my ultimate question that I feel like every entrepreneur, anybody that ever wants to start a business, this is something you have to ask yourself every day, every point, every time you're trying to like figure out what next steps. What's your why? Like, what's your why? And you can almost say it in like one sentence what your why is. So I'll just give you mine. I define that my why is I value being able to define my time. So I want to be able to control the things that I really want to do, and I want to be able to define it. So I had to find an avenue so that I could do that. And it took me a while to realize what it was. Like, people have their money, they have whatever, but mine is I want to be able to define my time. I want to make sure that I can control that. So what is your why?
Great. I enjoyed what you said, your why. I'll say my why, and it ties in with Alani's previous question. Um, my why is to be able to create a solution for women, to be able to protect their hair, but still look presentable. And the reason I say this is because, as Alani mentioned, a lot of us, whether or not we're entrepreneurs, whatever it is we do, we work in tech or just whatever field you work in, a lot of women, we have multiple roles that we play, whether you're a mother, a wife, a sister, whatever, an auntie, and so a caregiver even, the list could probably go on. But we may not necessarily always have time to do our hair or different things like that. So I would say one of my biggest why was to create a solution for women to, like, if I have sometimes my hair, I don't feel great about the way my hair looks, but I throw on a head wrap and I feel like I'm the flyest person in the world. But I know that my hair is still good underneath, right? So I would say that's been my biggest thing. And I think for me, starting this business, because it started with a personal problem that I have, it makes it very personal for me. And I want to make sure that people love the product that they're getting from me, and that they're able to use it comfortably. And so, yeah, that's been my biggest why. And I'm really, really grateful that I have the opportunity to pursue this and connect with everyone. So, yeah.
Very great answer. Great.
Thank you.
Juan.
Well, for joining, I didn't want
So,
to. Oh, go ahead. Oh, sorry. There's more questions.
there are. But that
Okay.
could be the last one because it actually is asking you what's next, right? So Q4, you had a successful summer launch,
Mm-hmm.
sold out. You've set the bar really high. You've sent trinkets out. You have all these like stickers, like all these things. So what is next? What can people expect from you, and where can they find you? How can they purchase? Is there a waiting list since everything is sold out?
All the all the questions. Great questions in plural. You said there was going to be one question, but that was
Well, it's
multiple.
Fully loaded. Fully loaded.
alley-oop so we could close out, but you could tell people where they could find you, what's the future.
Yes.
Like, follow, subscribe, all of that. I watch a lot of YouTube. Like,
Like, follow,
Comment
subscribe.
below.
yeah.
Turn on the notification bell. Well, no, great question, because honestly, I'm really learning social media as I go. So I'm just kind of winging it, honestly. I would say, well, for sure, go to my website. It's www.ayocathy.com, and the link is in the bio. In terms of what's next, I'm not going to tell it now, but I have some exciting collections coming up for the winter. So just stay tuned, sis. Stay tuned.
And we're gonna need those. We're gonna need those in the winter too. You know,
yes,
the rainy season.
tuned.
Yeah, for sure.
In addition to that, I have some other products that I'm working on testing out, but y'all just stay tuned. In terms of social media, I have some very, very, very interesting lives and content that I'm planning out over the next few weeks and months and to come. So y'all just stay tuned. I really appreciate just everyone's for their support. I've been growing this organically. If y'all notice, everyone who's following me, I started this out in May, but I started my Instagram page in May. I didn't really post anything until July. So thankfully, the people who are following me then didn't unfollow me, but it's definitely been a learning curve for me. And I really appreciate just everyone who's been engaging with my content. So thank you all so much. And I have just some more exciting things. So just stay tuned. Follow me. Follow my friends. Follow Alani. Please put your what's it called? Your handle? I'm learning, y'all. I'm learning. Please put your handle in the comment, and I'm gonna have to figure out how to save this also as a video. But thank you all so much for joining this. and for just watching this.
This
When
is perfect.
it's gonna ask you after once you hit end, it's gonna say, "Do you want to post it?" And then
Okay. And I can do it. Yes. Okay, cool. And thank you all in the comments. I'm seeing the comments. Thank you all. Everyone's saying they love the post and they love the reels. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Love. But maybe this time, the next live, I actually will know what I'm doing. So it'll probably go smoother than this. But thanks y'all for just hanging with me and going with the flow.
for
This
sure.
is the best one. Organic is always real because this is who you really are, and we love you for who you really are. This is great.
Love y'all. Thank you.
I can't wait. I love the website. I love when things are put together. I love that it feels like, even though you said you're winging it, it's put together. And so you got to give yourself credit for that.
Thank you.
So I'm excited.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. And y'all, if y'all have content you want to see from me, I have things planned, but if people have content that they want to see from me, please direct message me or comment when I post the video, because then I could start planning them out as well. But I have some very, very exciting lives coming up and some other guests as well that will be speaking. So thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Have a great Sunday evening, and until next time.
Bye.
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 Hey, yo, Kathy.
Hey, yo, Kathy. Maybe I should just start calling it that.
Especially for, like Lonnie said today, that's exactly how it's pronounced.
Hey, yo, Kathy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all. See y'all later.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
Bye.